Today we discuss the PRS Silver Sky. Hey, James G here with Tarpley Music in Fort Worth, Texas. You can always find us online at tarpleymusic.com, and please subscribe to the channel below if you haven't done so already. So today we talk about the amazing PRS Silver Sky. Now this is the American version. This is the version that John Mayer helped Paul Reed Smith come up with in a kind of an attempt to make his overall perfect double cutaway 3 single coil guitar. And it really worked. So he took a lot of the ideas from the vintage like 63-64 Strat by Fender with some modern elements and made this amazing guitar. And so let's just go over some of the specs. So it is an alder body. It's a maple neck. This is a rosewood fretboard. They're also available in maple in almost every color except for the Roxy Pink. I believe is the only one that can only get rosewood fretboard, but all the other colors you can get rosewood or maple. And it's a 7.25 radius. So he played this. This was several years of this, of him coming up with the perfect things and things he was doing. He was playing guitars on tour, and so he decided 7.25 radius would be perfect for that. It is a 25.5 scale length, so between the bridge and the nut. It's 22 frets, a bone nut, and if you notice, this is actually a PRS inverted headstock. So the longer part here is on bottom. All the other guitars, it's actually the shape is this way, and a lot of that is to keep the string length behind the nut the same, so it holds tuning much better, and it also helps with John Mayer's playing style. So if you see one that's reversed like this, just you're going to know right away it's the Silver Sky as opposed to any of the other in their line. He kept the vintage style closed back locking tuners. But they, not locking tuners, they closed vintage style tuners, and then PRS made them their locking tuner on the top of it. So extremely good at holding pitch and holding the strings. There are 3 single coils. Of course, these are the 635 JMs. Just a lot of great vintage tone with kind of modern clarity, if that makes any sense. So it's your standard 5-way switch. And so you've got your tone knob here for your neck and middle, and then you got a tone knob for the bridge, and then, of course, an overall volume. And it's just similar to the other traditional guitars. So at position 5, you're at the neck. Position 4, these two, and middle with the position 3. Position 2 is middle bridge, and then position 1 with the bridge. So it's got all the tonal aspects you would expect from a double cutaway Strat style guitar like that, but it's really kind of focused on that old school 60s kind of a neck on it with some modern elements of just holding it in tune and body shape and some things like that. And it's just, to me, it is kind of the overall perfect single coil double cutaway. And it also says a whole lot for the Silver Sky SE, which is an amazing guitar at the price point that it's at in comparison to this. So it just, as amazing as this guitar is, worth every penny. But that SE, when you play that one too, it's just a really killer design at both of those levels. And so this is a full steel tremolo, and if you can see, it's completely flushed all the way to the board. So if you have your bar, it will only lower pitch. Main reason for that is that all that steel is holding on to the body and resonating the body, so it does give you more sustain, and it gives you a lot more ability to hold that tune really strong. And of course, there is a double action truss rod in this neck, so it can hold the curve, the bow or the straightness that you want perfectly. And so it is just the overall be-all everything. And so John Mayer took a whole lot of pride into this, and so did Paul Reed Smith, where they really kind of came up with this idea. And they didn't reinvent per se, but they took the best elements of what Leo Fender was trying to do on a Strat and just nailed it. And this is by far one of the best playing guitars of this style that I've ever played. That's just the way it is. Fender Strat lover, but still it is just a wonderful piece. So we're going to do some playing. We're going to be able to hear it clean in all 5 of the positions there. And I do have an Ibanez TS9, so we'll be able to hear some dirt on all these as well. All right, so we got the Silver Sky going through a Fender Tone Master Deluxe reverb, and if you want a perfect marriage of tone, even according to John Mayer says, you want to hear the Silver Sky, play it through a Fender amp. That is the tones that it's supposed to do. And so we're going straight through this, and this is going direct out into our interface. And then for the dirty overdriven stuff, I'm going through an Ibanez TS9, which is a great tube screamer that he often has some sort of tube screener. He always has some sort of tube screamer on his pedal board. So we're going to start in position 5. So here's our neck pickup. Cool, so we're going to position 4 now, so this has added our middle pickup, and tone knobs are all the way open on this. Move into the middle position. Position 2, so now we got our middle and our bridge pickup, so you can start hearing a lot more of those higher tones. Now all the way to the bridge pickup, our treble pickup. You're gonna hear a lot of that bite now. It sounds better if you don't drop your pick. So there is all 5 positions in clean. So you can already hear it's like the best representation of every part of the 5-way switch that you would hear from a guitar like this. So now we're going to turn on, this is just a little bit of dirt from the TS9, so you can just hear a little bit of the grit. And we're going to go through that same sequence again, starting on position 5. Position 4. Position 3, our middle pickup. Bring out some treble here, so second position, middle and bridge. Finally, our bridge pickup. So that was tone all the way up, right? So you remember is when you've got this first tone switch is going to be just your... So you can roll that out. When you're in middle position, it's still going to roll that out. When you're in a position, it's still going to roll that out because it's controlling the tone on these two. So this tone knob is just for this bridge pickup. And since it has so much of that bite to it, if you wanted to edge that off a little bit but still get that thinner kind of a sound, then you can. You can just roll that tone off. The main thing about this that I've really heard is, especially in, I agree with it because I was reading the description of that, is how you can get a lot of that high, but you don't get that ice picky, really kind of punctuating sound. So just incredible instrument, both overdriven and both clean. All right, so we've heard how great this guitar sounds on its own. So now we're going to play it in the mix with some backing tracks that I did earlier. All right, hit it, boys. So the PRS Silver Sky, John Mayer and Paul Reed Smith coming together to make this thing is exactly what you would expect from that artist and that master builder. It really has taken the elements of everything that should be a 3 single coil double cutaway guitar and has maximized it. As my humble opinion, but you'll notice if you go and read and do a lot more research on it that it's a shared opinion of how great this guitar really is. All the way from the ability of just how it feels, but the ability of how well it holds tune, the ridiculous amount of punchiness and warmth you can get from selecting this. It's an all-in-one guitar for that style. And I agree with John Mayer in the sense of, if you really want to hear this, this is what's really meant to be paired up with just a great killer Fender clean amp, something really, really similar to that. So I just wanted to let you hear a very simple chord progression in all those different tones, because it's very massive amount of difference between those. So it's a really killer guitar. The Roxy Pink just shines. It's just such a really great color. You can look up on Paul Reed Smith's website, though. There is a handful. There's not a single color I don't like on this, and that's usually there's one or two I'm like, but all of them are really, really cool. Like I said, with the exception of this one, but all the other ones you can get a maple fretboard, and so it still has the bird inlay. These are the mini birds. But it's actually a black outline on the maple, so it's kind of it's almost like a silhouette kind of a thing. But super killer guitar. If you get a chance to come down Tarpley and pick this PRS Silver Sky off the wall and play it for a while, and you'll know exactly what I mean, especially if you're a Strat guy, if you're a double cutaway guy, you really need to come play it. So I hope you got some interest from this, and I hope you liked the video. And if you did, please hit like below. Really helps us out a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to know as we drop more videos, then just make sure you turn on notifications, and we will see you on the next one.